Hello and welcome to this special program. How is artificial intelligence, AI, going to change how we work and how we conduct our lives? That's essentially the focus of this conversation over the next 30 minutes. And to help me do that, we are going to be speaking with the Chief Technology Officer at TCS, Dr. Harris Wynn. Harris, great to have you with us here. Thank you very much for your time. Harris, one of the things which a lot of people, a lot of the audience will believe, and do believe, I think, is that AI is a job killer, especially IT services jobs, and it's going to be a job killer. Let's just start there. Is that true?
No, I don't think so. Actually, I look at AI as a technology that is going to augment people rather than replace people. So when I say augment people, what I mean is it is going to make people do work much better than they are doing today, maybe perhaps faster, but also actually deliver very different value to the customers for whom they are doing work. So just to take an example, if you think about, let's say, contact centers or call center, AI will actually not only help a call center agent become much more productive by saying, for example, when I have had a call with you, take the call transcript, summarize it, and actually automatically, let's say, derive the sentiment that got exchanged during the call. AI will also help the contact center agent become far more contextually aware. Who is Harrik? What product has Harrik bought in the past? Is he a happy customer?
Which the person has to do manually right now.
Yeah, today the person does not, in fact, yes, manually, and in fact the information is distributed all over many data sources within an enterprise.
Right.
Some of it is in CRM, some of it is in product information and so on. How do you collate all of that and improve my contextual awareness as a call center agent?
Right.
So that I can do what I do better. In future, it will actually allow me as a call center agent to be far more proactive. Can I predict or anticipate the need for Harrik to maybe call and actually reach out to Harrik even before Harrik calls, potentially, to actually help improve the customer satisfaction, right? So change this entire model from almost like complaints management to almost like value management.
Is it already happening though? I mean, calling before the customer has to call? I mean, just to use that example.
To some extent, I think so. A lot of it is today happening before you have sold a product or service.
Okay.
The question is after you have actually bought a product or service, can we actually, because the world is changing, there's so much instrumentation that is there. And I mean, you think about a car, the car is a heavily connected car today. Right. So it is collecting so much information about the car, the driving pattern, wear and tear, and so on. So it is not that difficult to imagine a situation where the car itself will be able to say that this is going to go wrong in 30 days. And even before I as a user come to know about it, so that then you can actually do inbound. So in some sense, thinking about contact centers not as call centers, but almost think of them as customer success centers is really sort of the type of transformation that is likely to happen.
But the same number of people are going to be required. I mean, just to go back to the first point and tie that off. For example, if you have 100 people and you have these AI applications coming in, will you need all 100? Will you need 70? Will you need 50? Because productivity goes up, as you said.
Yeah, productivity will go up for certain class of jobs that they are doing that frees them up to do new jobs that they are currently not doing. So for example, from complaints management to customer success management, you're going to add a whole bunch of new jobs that they will have to do. So in a sense, while you're releasing capacity, you're utilizing that capacity to change the value perceived by customers. So in my mind, the number of people will not change, but the jobs that they do will fundamentally change. And the value that is perceived by the customers of that job will also change.
And there is no people-free success centers, customer success centers. I mean, just completely automated.
No, I think we are probably making a big mistake in thinking automation. So at least personally, I always think in terms of augmentation rather than replacement.
Okay.
There is plenty of work to be done that is not getting done today.
Right.
Which will, when you free up capacity to do work from existing set of workers, they will actually now start doing things that are not getting done today.
So there's heavy retraining which is required, right? I mean, new training which is required
Yes.
across the industry,
Yes.
across all aspects, basically.
Yes. So I think you're absolutely right. So in a sense, with AI, the roles of people is fundamentally changing, from doers of work to sort of trainers and interrogators of intelligent machines, reviewers of work done by machines, and actually owners of critical thinking, creativity, and things of that sort, right? Sort of design thinking, which means that you will have to continuously retrain people. In fact, as machines will become more and more intelligent, the roles of people will keep shifting also constantly, and new jobs will get added. As I said, the customer success rather than sort of complaints handling, right? So that will require continuous training and retraining. In fact, as we were discussing earlier, I think every skill that people are learning today, their utility, sort of what is often called as the half-life of a skill, which is the time it takes a particular skill that you've acquired to lose half of its value, is shrunk from almost 30 years to 6-7 years today, and it's shrinking, which means that all of our children will actually have to retrain themselves multiple times over during their career. And so the need for constantly retraining talent or employee base is going to become a critical success factor for every organization.
But this has already happened, or this has been this process, this half-life, the point that you make, is it's accelerated now because of AI?
Yes, it is accelerating, and it will probably keep coming down further. So as technology is maturing, a lot of the hard skills are actually, their half-life will keep coming down. Whereas, in fact, the need for a lot more of these soft skills, being able to actually understand, articulate, coherently explain something, critically analyze something. In software engineering, for example, the ability to read code and analyze code is going to become far more important moving forward than write code.
Absolutely.
Because writing code will happen by machine. But once it has written some code, being able to actually read that and say, this is good but not great. And here is the reason why it is not great. Let me go ahead and change it. Now, so this is actually creating almost a sort of a machine-people co-working situation where machines will constantly augment people and make them better, and people will constantly make machines better. And that's sort of almost like a hybrid workforce, where people and machines are sort of improving each other constantly, will become the norm of the future.
I got it. Just tell us the use cases of AI with a few examples if you can. And I'm not talking about TCS, but maybe you can sort of, because you have a bird's eye view of what's happening in the organization at TCS. And it's also kind of a prism into what's happening in the IT services industry. Where is it being used? I mean, for our viewers, just to kind of understand, what is it helping you do?
No, so I think it is actually the technology is getting embedded in almost all what I would call as knowledge work.
Okay.
And there are three broad categories, if you will, of use cases, or even you can think of it as maturity where technology is getting used. So if you think about all knowledge work today, it is actually is a combination of people make decisions about something, and then operationalize those decisions using some sort of actions. Right. So the first class of use cases are basically focused more on actions. Can I use AI or intelligent machines to perform certain tasks or actions for me? For example, going back to the example that we were talking earlier about in a contact center situation. When a call came in, today a call center agent has to actually, at the end of the call, write a call transcript and summary and say this is what happened. Now the machine will actually do that.
So there's more automation, essentially.
This is more automation, and that improves productivity, which is focused on the actions. So in software engineering, if you think about that, then write code for me or write some test cases for me or things of that sort. Those are the kinds of actions. The second class of use cases are basically more augmenting the work doer's contextual awareness. So for example, if I'm writing a piece of code, where does this piece of code fit in the larger software application that I'm actually building? And how is that actually getting viewed? Who is going to use this? How frequently is this thing going to call? What is the performance requirement of this? All of that is contextual awareness, because once I understand that, I will make the right decisions when I'm building code, right?
Okay.
Similarly, in a call center example, I mean, who is the customer and lifetime value of the customer? What is the potential next best offer or action that I should offer to that customer?
Sure.
This is all augmentation,
Okay.
which is helping people make better decisions.
Right.
So as to actually improve the quality of work output that they will generate.
Sure.
The third category, or a maturity level, is actually going to be taking these two, sort of assist and augment types of use cases, bringing them together to completely rethink the end-to-end value that is getting delivered. We call them as transform use cases.
Okay.
So in the case of contact center, while the two types of use cases we talked about, they are going to assist and thereby improve productivity as well as augment the call center agents. The third category is where can we actually take the call center as an entire value chain and completely redefine that value chain, where we will actually now, as we said earlier, proactively predict the need for a customer requiring help or service and proactively offering that, right? So can we turn something today that is a more complaint or cost center into much more of value center, thereby shifting focus from bottom line, a cost center focus, to much more customer success and consequently top line focus.
Okay.
So that is the transform. So in software engineering, similar things will happen.
Okay.
Right? Instead of looking at only productivity improvement of certain types of activities like coding or testing or things of that sort, can we build software such that you will be able to build software that is near zero, let's say, operations by design. So when you build software, I've captured enough knowledge such that the operations of that software, which is a sizable amount of work that happens today, that is going to get automated by design or augmented by design, so that we can actually get people to build resilient software much easier.
And what is first use case, I'm assuming, is happening, right?
Yes,
It's widespread.
In
What
fact,
about-
almost 70, 80, 90% of what's happening today is, I would say, assist. There is maybe 20% is today augment. Transform is very little today, but that is where we expect actually the significant amount of, if there is knowledge work disruption that is going to happen, that will happen the moment you go to more of the transform types.
the third stage.
Third stage.
But you're saying-
sort of a natural maturity or progression towards
But
more
we're
and
not
more.
there yet. It's-
We are not there yet. We are not there yet.
And this is true for the industry as well. Across most of the industry, we're at level 1, which is assist.
Assist and augment is probably, I would say assist is 70, 80%, augment is maybe 15%, 20%. The transform is very, very low at the moment. And you can apply this, I mean, while we have been talking about contact centers and software engineering, I mean, you can think about marketing. You can think about drug discovery. Right? I mean, you pick any domain of work, or underwriting for insurance or risk management. All of this has exactly the same flavor, that you will actually start out with assist, improving productivity of people. Then second level will be help people do what they do much, much, much better, because you are helping them become far more creative in a sense. Machines helping them to become more creative. And then eventually you sort of say, oh, we have created a whole bunch of these agents, if you will, that are augmenting or assisting people. Can we combine this in what is now starting to be called as an agentic network? That together, can I completely redefine the value of that function?
Sure.
So for example, the time to build, let's say, a new drug.
Right.
Can I shrink it for 2 years or 3 years to 6 months?
Right, right.
That is where the game will shift.